Okay, so we're going to get some output from our database now. What we're going to do is we're going to get a printout of all the data in this table. This is the customers table. So if you remember back from the first video, a printout is a report. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to create, and then we're going to choose to create a report. That's over here. All this stuff is to do with the report. And for this time, we're going to use a wizard, and you'll see why. Basically, it does a lot of the work for you. So I'm going to choose where I want the data to come from. That's the customers table. I'm going to add all the fields there. I could have just added them one at a time. Okay, if I just want a certain number of them. So it is a sort of a way of selecting a subset of data. Anyway, I want more. Next, I don't care about this now, nor do I care about that now, nor that. And as a name, I'm going to call it customers report. So I'm going to use the prefix RPT and customers. Okay. Now that's what it does for me straight off the wizard. So that's in print preview mode, because obviously I'm designing something that's going to come out on a piece of paper. But as you can see over here, there's some issues. Basically, the date of birth isn't the space I have put isn't big enough to fit the date of birth in, and this stuff here is kind of wasting a bit of space. So I have some space wasted, especially over on this side, and I haven't got enough space on here. So I'm going to need to go into the design view and edit that. Okay, so here's the design view. So just stop and think about what you're looking at here, because it's kind of interesting to realize that what you're looking at is the printed report, which may be, thousands of pages long, but this is all it is. It's just some section headings. Okay, this is what appears at the top of every page. That's why it's called the page header. And this is what appears at the bottom of the page. The report header comes at the beginning of the report, and the report footer, we haven't got one here, but the report footer comes at the end of the whole report. Okay, this section, the detail section, is the bit that gets repeated for every single record that it's pulling. So let's have a look at this again in this print preview. And look, what you've got here is the report header. This is the page header, and then this is the detail section. And it just repeats and repeats and repeats once for every record. And there's the page footer. And as you can see, I'm page 1 of 5. So that same thing happens at the top of every page. There's a page header, page footer you just saw, detail section and such like. Okay, so we need to alter and edit those things. So what we're going to do is we're going to close this print preview. We're going to go into the design view of the report, and we're going to make our changes here. So first thing is, I think we can save some space here by moving the email address in the page header and making the email address space in the details section smaller. The other thing we're going to be able to do here is change the font size of that so that there's more likelihood of the email address fitting in. We can quickly preview what we have done there, and you can see now the email addresses all fit nicely in, and we've got the space to move that over and have a bit more space for our dates of birth. So let's do just that. Move over the date of birth in the page header, move it over here in the details section, expand it out. So now we should have a bit more space. Let's go to the view. There we go. Now we've got our space for it. Okay. Obviously now there's some little issues here that we need to tighten up, and over here. Have a go now. Do some fiddling around. Make it look good. Change the layouts, and just get used to that idea of flicking between the print preview and the design view. Design view here. Okay. So you start to understand what those different sections do. And then obviously when you're done, close it. It's going to save it automatically. You've already given it a name, and then it's going to be here in the reports section. There you go, RPT customers. This was the one I was playing around with before. This is the one I just made. Questions, comments, problems? post them on the Facebook group.